Just pushing, obviously. The stack setup is too good, I think, to shove there, but once again, it's kind of close. Just because of the big stacks in the bubble situation. What do we got, blast? Oh shit, that was a shove. Ah, should be paying better attention. I think that was a push. I didn't realize the big blind was going to hit me at 400. Alright, so after my one suck out, I've got this one. Well, I've got a big chip lead, heads up. Now, Samuel's got to push pretty much anything. Trapped. Obviously, any ace head up. Oh, I got suck out master. Obviously, Loga game. 9 king or jack. I escaped the big blind. Luckily, otherwise I would have paid heavily for my mistake of not pushing. And I have to push any 2 cards here. He used to push any 2 cards there, so it's not going to happen anyway. It's just between drunks and me. Unless these 2 magically go bust out against each other. Gotta stick it in. It's all about being first into the pot. Good game. Oh shit. Oh, he really shouldn't have called there, even though it's plus EV against me. And I would never call there. And the reason is because one, Action Jeff is a huge suck out artist, but the other reason is no, it's because he has a big chip lead on the bubble. And his hand isn't, you always hit from behind, clearly, yeah. But his hand just isn't good enough to risk that chip lead. When he's got that chip lead, he can shove every hand and no one can ever call. Like, and he's got PB Drunks, who's guaranteed, you know, who's really short and who could easily go out next. I mean, you just can't do that. You can't call there, because he's got such an edge on the bubble with the big stack. I would fold significantly worse hands. Whole table knows he pushes anything, still doesn't matter. Well, it's true, it doesn't matter just because I'm pushing the King X there because Drunks has to fold a lot of hands, Fireworks has to fold a lot of hands because of Fells has got a good chance to knock someone out, and Fells doesn't want to risk his bubble situation. Looks like I'm going to win these both on the back of lots of suckouts. That'd be pretty sick. And this is like, I just decided to do a sit and go session. These are the first sit and goes I've even tried to do a recording for, and obviously I just run infinitely good in both. That's pretty funny. I'm just going to fold this on the button. I don't have the bubble to work with anymore, and they'll call me with anything half decent. I've made a couple mistakes, and we've talked about them. The King 10 was a mistake with an M of 5. The King 4 was definitely not, but the Jack 5, no, that wasn't a mistake, but I should have, I think I had to find a better spot to push before that. Maybe nothing came up. So now it's totally different. We don't have the bubble to worry about anymore. I don't have some big edge. It's all about my chip equity. That's it. I want to make plays that are plus EV. He's pushing a lot of hands here, so I'll call. Sick. I can't believe I might win both of these. So lucky. Not quite good enough to push. Because if I knew that the player was tight or something, then yeah, I would push, but I don't really know that, and he's seen me pushing everything, so I want a little better than that. Let's see, we got within 1 minute the blinds are up. And then it's just going to be all in every hand. Definitely good enough head up. I haven't seen this player before, I don't really know anything about him. This is good enough. That sucks. Oops. I can't push any 2 here because he's got to call so many hands after posting 600 big blind. But yeah, hell, I'm gonna push that obviously. I mean, you know, I'm still pushing like I think 60% of my hands. I think that's about right. And he's just gotta push anything there. Which is why I was disappointed, because I realized right when I dealt the queens, this is the one hand where he doesn't have to push. Well, this is making the decisions easy. I wish I had a closer one where it was like 9-7 there would be kind of close when I would end up pushing, for example. And this is a call. I'm getting good odds. I know his range is pretty much any 2 cards. He's got me beat. I'm sure I'll suck out, right? Oh, what is that? Who doesn't suck out there? So now, for once, we aren't necessarily push-fold. But we are anyway, so. If you look, there's 1,000 in the pot, and his M is like 5, so I just went ahead and shoved there anyway. And now he's probably still push-fold against me. This hand is a little worse than Queen Jack against his range, which is almost, if not, any 2, so it's not quite good enough to call there. I guess I'll just make a normal raise. I'm not doing this to induce anything, I'm just trying to set a precedent, because we've got another 3 minutes at this level, and I could theoretically make some normal opening raises here, if I wanted to. I didn't push there, because, you know, I don't want to be trapped or something. He knows that I might push any 2 there, so I just let him take it that time. The kind of hands that I'll open raise with, I think, are hands that either 1, I can call re-raise all in with, or 2, there's absolutely no way I can call re-raise all in. So I'm going to push sometimes strong hands to mix it up, and sometimes mid-strength hands to, or you know, hands that are okay in showdown but aren't really good in other situations. That aren't really good if I get re-raised. I don't want to give him that chance. This is a little too weak, I think. He's getting to the point where he really needs to call with anything half decent with that many chips. I'm just like trying to keep the equilibrium of the situation up. Not a good flop to bluff at. And in 1 minute the lines are up, but in 1 minute there's a good chance it'll be over just because these things move so fast. So I'm just making a normal raise this time. I don't want him limping every time. I would push there if he limped again, although I wouldn't like it. This is one of those mid-strength type hands. It's pretty good in showdown, but it's not strong enough to just raise and try and trap him. This is a marginal call, but considering the pot odds and the hands that I'm pushing, it's alright. Oops. You know, I stopped doing these sit and goes for a while because I was running so bad in them. I started playing tighter on the bubble just because things weren't working. Then I just win both of these like this that I decided to do a video for. That's pretty funny. So, yeah, there were some mistakes. One of the things that I did by accident, by focusing too much on this one, I let my chip stack get to the point where when I was pushing, I was up against players with deep stacks in the blinds, and that's never a good idea. You really don't want that to happen, because when it does happen, you're a lot more likely to get called, and my fold equity was pretty weak. It was probably, in terms of chip equity, a minus EV push, but I had to push before the blinds hit me again, otherwise I was out. I missed out on the King 10 push, and there was a risk that the big blind would have hit me at 400 because of that, when I have less chips. And that definitely pushed it toward a push. This is in the 225. That one push was slightly questionable with when the blinds had about an M of a little over 5 and I had 10 Shrey on the button. I knew that Sam, was calling a really tight range there because he has some idea of the proper bubble strategy, and he doesn't want to call all in there, but I didn't realize how wide a range Mule Tool was going to call. I didn't realize that he was going to call me with Ace 10 there, which is not a call that I like at all. If I knew that he was calling with, mid-aces, maybe I would have folded, although, just because, even though it might be plus EV, I might want to preserve my position there because there's a really good chance I'm making the money. That was a close one. I think the important thing here isn't the result, it's the thought process. You have to understand that these sit and goes are not real poker, and the strategies that you should apply are completely different from like a multi-table tournament. It's not about EV, it's about your EV and the sit and go. It's about knowing whose blinds to go after and when it's correct to gamble and when it isn't correct to gamble. And the bubble strategy is really, really, really important. That's the main point that I want to make here. And these are only a couple of sit and goes, so not everything's apparent. I'm sure I'll do some more sit and goes in the future, and hopefully some of the things that I'm talking about will become more clear. If it wasn't apparent just from watching me, I might have made the right decisions, but I was slightly uncertain on some. I do play these a lot, and I am a winner in them. Well, I don't play these a lot. I'm a winner in them, and I did play them a lot. But recently, I haven't played a whole lot of them, so it's still definitely the correct strategies and everything. But what's most important is the thought process. Just make sure that you examine these situations. One useful tool that I recommend, I think you can download or buy it online, is Sit and Go.